Ooh. Ready to talk. Rolling. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Finding Doyin. It's been a minute. I'm sorry for the creaking chair. The chair is going mental. But I'm happy again to be here. It's been so long. Not so long since I made just talking content, because you guys like hearing me rant and hearing me talk. But it's been a while. I've been giving like life tips, advice, Let's scrap that for a while and let's just talk about life. Today's episode, I'm going to be discussing growing up as the last born in a Nigerian home. I was going through my week and I had like a call with my siblings some weeks back. And we're just discussing, and then I started reminiscing growing up in a Nigerian home. So today I decided to bring that topic to you guys to discuss what growing up as the last child in a Nigerian family was like for me. I would like it for my fellow last borns. Let me know what you guys feel in the comment section. Let me know how your growing up was, and maybe I can do a reaction video to some of your experiences. But today's video, I'm going to be sharing my experience as a last child in a Nigerian home. If that's something you like to see, make sure you stick around because you're gonna love it. All right, a little trivia for those who are not, Nigerians. Where do I come from? I don't come from Africa. Americans will say, "Oh, I'm going to Africa." Where in Africa are you going? Because Africa is a continent, and in the continent of Africa, I am from West Africa. So in West Africa, I'm from Nigeria, West Africa. So for my fellow non-Africans, that always say, "Oh, I'm going to Africa." Africa, is a continent. Just something you should take note of. It's not that difficult. You can actually know the countries within Africa. So take note of that, and just take note of it. But let's dive right into the video. What was it like growing up in a Nigerian home? Firstly, it was very different for me because I have a twin sister. Shout out to Funto watching this video. My name is, I'll not tell my middle name, but yeah, shout out to Funto. Shout out to Funto watching this video. That's my twin sister. And growing up was different for me than it would be for most lastborns, because I actually grew up as a twin. When you grow up as a twin, you kind of split the responsibilities that are supposed to fall solely on the lastborn into two equal parts, right? So growing up with a twin sister really helped me to ease into growing up. But it didn't make it as easy, because also with advantages comes disadvantages. With pros comes the cons. Yeah. So the first thing was that I was a twin, right? How did that impact on my growing up? There was a lot of comparison from me myself, right? Because I didn't really understand how the world worked, right? My sister used to be taller than me for a very long time. She used to be way bigger than me for a very long time. And she was stronger than me for a very long time. So I used to wonder, are you sure we're really twins? Why is this girl so tall? And she can beat me up and all of this. And we used to fight. We used to fight every time when we were kids, right? But then my parents would take her side. And it didn't make sense to me, especially when she came to look for my trouble. She came to disturb me, and then I retaliate and we end up fighting. And then my parents are beating me. And I'm like, this lady was the one who looked for my trouble. I don't understand why you guys are attacking me, right? It didn't make any sense to me, frankly speaking. Till I started to grow up and discovered, you don't beat women, you don't do this. They were okay, now it makes sense, why they were trying to do that. But still, as a child, that was very difficult, because at times I wanted to run away. With a salon, I wanted to just disappear, honestly. And I know every kid, even from the firstborn to the lastborn, I think every kid around the world, not even just in Nigerian homes, at a point in their life, they thought that running away was a brilliant idea. Wallahi. Everybody thought that, oh, I will just run away and this will come and look for me. Bro, that's the worst idea as a kid that you can have. Because when you run away, you will use your hand, you use your leg and come back to that house. And they will now beat you extra. Here, you beat people. In Nigeria, they'll beat. Then you have to come back. So this painting at the back is actually a tribute to Nigeria. These are a friend of mine sent it to me. And it has the Danfo buses and people walking around the place. It's very sentimental, and I wanted it to be in this video because I'm talking about growing up in Nigeria. So you have some of those memories. If you can see it, I actually wanted it to be there, so I hope like it's adding to the value of this video. Okay, moving to the next point, The next point is that growing up in a Nigerian household, you do a lot of chores. Oof. Omo, you have for about tire, you wash plates. That's translation of what I said. You're going to wash so many plates. In Nigeria, most Nigerian homes, middle class, when I grew up, there were no dishwashers. Just died that mentality. No dishwashers, no, what's the name? Clothes washer. What's the name of that thing? I forgot some. There were none of that. Like there was no laundry stuff. You're going to wash the clothes with your hands. You're going to wash the plate with your hands. You're going to wash the car with your hands. You're going to do all of these things with your hands. Like back in Nigeria, when I grew up in a middle class family, point blank period. If you're hearing otherwise, I don't know, they are forming for you. I'm going to tell you as it is. But yeah, so those were the realities when I grew up, and there was a lot of chores. Like there were lots of chores in my house because it was like, we're just a family of 6, father, mother, and 4 children. But we've always had a lot of people living like with us, right? So many people living with us, so many plates to wash. I mean, in all fairness to my aunts, I think some of them didn't used to wash their plates, Some of them, my uncles too, didn't used to wash their plates. So it used to be me and Funto that used to wash the plates. So there was a time we had like a battle because Funto did not want to wash the plates. So we now decided to split in the middle. So if I wash plates today, Funto will wash it tomorrow. If I wash it the next day, she'll wash it the next day. But my dad used to come back late from work some of the times. And sometimes that he finishes eating, we will have finished washing, the person that is washing for that day would have finished washing the plates. Now, if you finish washing the plates and someone else is now bringing another plate, like me, I've washed the plates for the day. Anybody that is awake by that time is the person that's going to wash the plates. Of course, we had separate rooms, and my dad, as a rule of thumb, he never used to enter like the ladies' room, like in our house. He will knock. If nobody responds, he will now come to our own room, the boys' room, and just enter inside because, period. So most of the time when Funto's day is to wash the plates, and she can dispute this if she lies, she cannot dispute this. When it's her time to wash plates, she will crash. She will do like she's sleeping. She's not sleeping, no, but because she knows that my dad doesn't enter, she will not respond, right? My aunties too, they won't respond, none of them. My dad will now come and look for me. But yeah, are they doing? Because that's my name. That's what my dad calls me. But are they doing? Come and carry this plate and go and wash it. So I have to be the one. So it used to pepper me. It used to pay me. Do you understand? It used to pay me. Another thing about chores was like growing up, of course, AY, the first, he didn't used to, bro, that guy's life was soft. He didn't used to, because I think his life was very soft. I mean, he has his own destiny now, but like his life was soft in terms of like chores, because the age gap between us is not that much, right? So AY, Biola, and I, like in space of like 6 years or 5 years, like all of us were like a 5-year gap difference, or 5-year difference. So because of that, he would just be like, oh, when my mom is going out, she'll be like, Kinwa, and my mom loves doing this thing. Instead of her to say, oh, you do this, she can be like, Kinwa de nu table here, like they should like literally translates to, they should sweep the house, so like they should wash the plates, so talk to somebody, assign somebody this chore. My mom would just throw it out there. So AY being the first, we delegate it to Biola. Biola being the lieutenant, we now delegate it to me and Funto. So at the end of the day, all the job from up trickles down to me and Funto. It was very, very beautiful growing up, we had like a lot of fights, but something that always stood like great was, my siblings always protected us, like, in school and stuff. Because when I went to boarding school, my AY was already like in SS3. Like if you're Nigerian, SS3 like the highest class in high school. And me, I was in JS1, I think that's elementary school. So like he always used to protect me, like, even though I didn't like seek that protection, but like just your brother being a prefect, like, it just comes with, this is not AY brother. Then when AY graduated, Biola too became a prefect, and everybody just liked me. And I had like a good personality, right? So people liked me like growing up. So that was just like some of the things that I experienced growing up. Okay. Another thing that was very, very nice, that was crazy growing up, that used to annoy me, was that because I was the last, right? I used to be the one to wake up first. So for example, we're going to church. when we grew up, like I said, middle class home, most of the homes at the time was like one bathroom, one toilet, like maybe 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom, but like it used to be like, you know, 1 bathroom or two bathrooms. So like they wake me up, hey, like, you know, wake up and go and have your bath. I'm like, guy, like that extra sleep, you know, that extra 15 minutes sleep that you actually need. I couldn't get it because I was the last kid. So they'll be like, hey, Funsho, wake up. Because that's what my siblings call me. Hey, Funsho, wake up. Go and have your bath. I'm like, bro. Then AY will get that extra 10 minutes on top of my own sleep. Then on top of Biola's sleep. So AY will get like 30 minutes extra sleep. So I used to be really, really angry because I used to have to be the one to wake up first. But growing up in Nigeria home was very, very interesting. You learned how to cook. I didn't know how to cook so well, if I'm being honest, until like 2019. So I knew how to cook beans, I knew how to cook white rice and all of that. But I didn't know how to cook like soups and all of this stuff. But then like my mom taught my sister a lot about how to cook. I used to be in the kitchen, but just chatting, just keeping my sister company, keeping my mom company and everything. But I didn't really know how to cook. But then I had to learn because like my sister was traveling out of the country, and then I learned how to cook so well because I used to ask her, hey, what's your recipe on this? What's your like recipe on this? And she'll send it to me. And then I learned how to cook. Like cooking was not that difficult for me to pick up because I used to be around kitchen helping them out, like so, like it really like it stuck for me. So, but yeah, growing up in a Nigerian home was like very, very interesting. I'd like to know your thoughts, you know, growing up in a Nigerian home as the last born, especially. And I challenge any firstborn watching this video to make their own video of how it was growing up in. Okay, I know this is something firstborns used to say, right? Firstborns be like, oh yeah, you had it easy. Okay, yeah, my last point was that as a last born, I ended up growing into like a splitting image of my dad. In the sense that me and my dad right now, like we're like on the same frequency, like we're very, 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 very similar. Like, especially, I think this is why it is, right? And this is why firstborns used to have like problem with lastborn. They'll be like, when I grew up, my daddy and mommy used to be very mean. They used to beat us every time. But you have it easy. So that's like the excuse that firstborns are always having, that, oh, like, you know, lastborns don't really suffer because like the parents are now more relaxed and everything. And I always tell people it wasn't like so in my case because like I said, like the age gap between us was just 5 years. So my parents were still very much active, especially my mom, very much active. She will still flog you, you know. So we didn't really experience that, oh, and your parents have chilled, you know, like some people, like the age gap between the freshman and last is like 13 years. So the parents are already relaxed, so anything that wants to happen should happen. But so I think aiding to that, growing up, me and my dad, like my parents, like I just say anything you want because I don't tire, right? I do all the chores, and so now, even though I'm not a perfectionist or I don't have OCD, like I like to see things in order, in place, because that's the kind of person my dad was. My dad like used to arrange everything, you know, he like very neat, very meticulous. So like I just grew up like imitating and just became a split image of my dad. Like, I always clean my room, lay my bed, do like all those like stuff. Is something like that I picked up, you know, from my dad, and you know, I just became like that. So when people are like, oh, like your house is neat, you like to arrange your stuff. Like I can't even talk to a girl, I can't talk to a lady that is not clean or like organized, because I'll just be angry. It will just be scratching me. You know, when you put something, my body will be scratching me like, babe, how can you put this thing here? Like, why are you not putting it in the right place? So that's the kind of mentality I grew up with. I think because I was last born. So yeah. But yeah, I think that's the end of the video now. I'm satisfied now. I've said my piece. I've said the one that's in my mind. But yeah, like I said, I challenge any firstborn to make a video or to come and let's do a video together on my YouTube so that people can watch and we can like kind of go back and forth on like the struggles of the firstborn versus the real struggles of the lastborn. Because the lastborn are the real victims in this case. So point blank, period. I said what I said. So you guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I've been trying to like, you know, improve the quality of my videos. I don't know if you guys can tell, working on some lighting, working on some background stuff, but I'm so excited. I'm so pleased that you guys are watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, you know, so that we can be monetized soon. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed to my channel and everyone that keeps sharing my videos. It means a whole lot to me. And I'll see you guys in another video.